Hello, friends. This is Spencer Love, your host of Over the Top Rope on the Win Column Sports Network. Don't forget you can head to wincolumnsports.ca for all of your previews, reviews, and breaking news from the world of wrestling, be it your major promotions or from the great province of Alberta, Canada.
This is your main man RJ from the Ringside Rant, heard only on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. So go over and subscribe across all your major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher to hear every great interview I have every Monday on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. Go over and follow the show's page on Twitter @_Ringside Rant. Follow the network's page @BizWrestleNet. And, as always, embrace the vision.
If you like podcasts and you are listening to on Backbreaker Media, then you should listen to me, Chris Parrish,
and myself, Madison,
and the Sounds of Struggle, because we are literally the most entertaining duo you'll ever come across in Western Canadian wrestling, baby.
We talk about things like wrestling
and other sports we like.
Wrestling.
But we won't talk about other sports that we don't like, because it's not that kind of podcast.
Like wrestling.
I mean, we like hockey.
And wrestling.
And we like football.
And wrestling.
And we also like to drink beer.
While wrestling.
Well, not while wrestling, but while watching wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to get into a conversation with Maniac and Chris Parrish, then you need to tune into the Sounds of Struggle live on Backbreaker Media.
Every Thursday.
Is when we hope to drop, but sometimes Mike Malawany doesn't do his job right.
Or we're too drunk to forget.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
He can bleep out the swear word, because we weren't supposed to do that.
Oh,
but
I'll try not to swear. I can't do it.
Yeah. Let's face it, the two of us, we're real.
And spectacular.
And we're a little bit of all right.
Yeah.
Well, so strugglicious.
That we are.
That was kind of the key. Supposed to be a strugglicious.
Oh, sorry, I'm drunk.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to listen to us, then no. You're stupid, because we're entertaining. And if you want to listen to us, then, come listen to us on Backbreaker Media.
Yeah. What he said.
Later, bitches.
No, who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
I don't have a children's theme song to sing for myself.
You just dropped the ball.
I'm really sorry. I don't remember a lot of the children's theme songs of shows I used to watch. I'll be honest, I don't.
Maurice's theme song was my child's theme song.
Pourquoi?
We'll play it later. We'll get to it. Anyways, welcome to Double Down Wrestling Podcast with KJ. And we have Mike the Rep as usual.
Woo! Episode 6!
I feel like Spencer isn't even a guest anymore at this point. He's
really?
like a pest.
Whoa, ouch. I was really happy to be here for a minute.
Happy to be here.
No, this is going to be the shortest podcast ever, because you guys, you need to leave.
We need to leave, I'm sorry.
No, my feelings are hurt.
You know Morgan and I are friends now, right?
Yeah, that's fine. I guess that's a split decision here, so.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Hi. Oh, hi.
Hey.
Sorry, nobody knows who I'm saying. We're also joined by the infamous Morgan.
That's me.
Folks, just before we begin, if you have any kale recipes, please put in the comments to this podcast.
Oh,
yeah,
sweet
plug your
Jesus.
social medias right now so people know.
Please, I'm gonna get some lovin'. Send me some kale recipes. I was just literally mailed a farm of kale. Paid $1. They sent me 6 boxes. So I need some help. Please.
It's like an umbrella, just about. Oh, I'm not prepared, guys. I'm not prepared.
On this podcast, we're going to be talking about second episode of Mae Young Classic, headlined by Ashley Rayne versus Mercedes Martinez. As well as, I don't think we're going to be talking much about this week's Raw and SmackDown, because,
No, because I'm mad about it.
Both of them were really bad.
Yeah, we try to keep this somewhat positive. And
Positive environment.
As KJ is going through her notes to finish up here,
I'm trying to, because
gonna-
I just don't remember what we just watched. I told you guys I have a bad memory. Okay.
I think we're going to be doing a little bit of Hell in the Cell predictions, and we'll quickly talk about that leaked Evolution card, that whether we think it's fake news or not.
I actually had a heart attack over it, and I immediately text Mike and was like, real or fake? Because if it's real, I'm so disappointed. And all I have to say is I'm really glad I didn't buy a plane ticket then if it's true. Because I was just about to. You think it's fake, eh?
No, 100% it is. There's no way. Brie Bella's not on the card. She's the only woman working on both SmackDown and Raw right now. I just don't see it. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that one can be true. You really think that if they're doing a tag team title for the women, that Sasha and Bayley would be out of it?
That's the one thing where I'm like, why?
No.
Why would that happen? And speaking of my favorite duo.
They've been booked into the ground again.
Yep. I'm sorry. They were almost like Naomi of Raw. They were hanging out in the parking lot this week on Raw.
It's been really, really bad. Yeah. Well, somebody else take this one first. I've given my first thoughts.
On their booking?
Yeah, they've been booked completely
so
into the
shitty.
ground.
I just don't even know what to say, and I'm really disappointed.
This could be an hour podcast on how bad this booking is, but frankly, they're focusing on Rousey and the title picture right now, and anything else but that is sort of subservient right now to all that, which going into Evolution I can sort of understand. The Super Showdown is also going to be a big thing too. They're trying to hype that up a little bit. I don't know how much traction that's going to get, merely for the fact that it's a one-off show at, I think it's like 6 a.m. at our time here or something.
It'll be something ridiculous, like 4 or 5 in the morning, I think.
Basically, anybody who's listening to this who's in Western Europe right now, we're going to feel your pain from every pay-per-view at that Super Show.
Yeah, this is such a terrible problem for us to have the one time it happens. But
yes,
they need to plan the timing of these things better if they want to make them real events, because I didn't watch the Greatest Royal Rumble because I was at work. And I don't think I'll watch this because I have better things to do at 4 to 6 o'clock in the morning. So, the fact that
all I could say is you should get ready for that show and then come down to MPW Vindication later on that night.
Whoa, what a plug!
Somebody call an electrician.
Zing, zing.
Regardless, go ahead.
Seriously, if they planned these better, I would really love to watch these, because Triple H versus The Undertaker is the best storyline on Raw right now, period. And the best storyline on Raw should involve two guys who are 49 and I think 53 respectively.
Something like that, yeah.
And that's not like a slight against the two guys. They're absolute legends. But the fact that that's your most interesting storyline going into a major thing where, like, you can build storylines towards these things if you build them, if you give them some importance. I understand why you'd maybe give it a little less on the Saudi Arabian side, because you may need to downplay it if you're not going to involve women on that. But as far as Australia goes, like, there's so much you could be doing. Like, why the Iconics haven't been pushed harder going into it, I don't understand.
Well, now that I think I was just about to bring them up, English. They finally have a match. Mm-hmm. I would have been really disappointed if they didn't, but I don't see why they wouldn't have. But no, why is it against the most random team of Naomi and Asuka? That's my question.
Because they have to give something to Asuka down there, and the Iconics, they'll find a way to beat Naomi in that matchup. I know we'll get to our predictions later on in future weeks here. But
on the Greatest Australian Rumble.
Well, I don't have a career like a 9-to-5 job, so I actually probably will watch it.
I will not. I think Asuka and Naomi are both in it strictly for the name value. They're the two biggest women outside of Charlotte and Becky that are on SmackDown, and you can build to it. I don't have any faith that WWE will.
No, and the only thing I hope that we see there is not only the Iconics, but also Buddy Murphy getting
an extra special treatment down there because he's Australian as well.
Yes, that's correct. And he's been doing really well.
And the matches between him and Cedric Alexander have been 10th level. Like, absolutely insane
I don't
matches.
disagree at all. Buddy Murphy is outstanding. Outstanding.
Outstanding?
Pardon?
Outstanding.
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 Much like a scarecrow, he is outstanding in his field.
You guys.
Sweet.
What did y'all put in your beer?
Beer.
Beer. Wheat from that outstanding field.
Thank you very much. Nicely played. I appreciate that.
That was great.
He's terrific. I never liked him when he was with Blake and Murphy, or what was it?
Yeah, Blake and Murphy with Bliss. Yeah.
And they weren't bad by any means.
I
but
think they were boring.
Yeah, like they were very boring.
They weren't bad, but they were boring.
You're never going to find a bad wrestler in WWE. I shouldn't say you're never going to find a bad wrestler in WWE.
Morgan,
For
the
the
one that
most part-
barely watches, she can already say.
For the most part, everybody in WWE is a technically sound wrestler, unless it's somebody freshly brought in. Neither of those guys were. They had previous wrestling experience. WWE doesn't bring those sorts of people in for a reason. Or for no reason, excuse me. But they didn't do anything while they were there. So the fact that Murphy's been pushed how he has been is just terrific.
Yeah.
Sorry, Morgan, you were going to say something there?
Oh, I was just going to say, as far as bad wrestlers being in WWE, somebody who's been watching for like 4 years now, 3 years, but not a fan, it's a lot easier to spot the bad wrestlers. So much easier when you're not caught up in the storylines and that kind of stuff. There's
no biases.
Many people. Not many, that's exaggerating, but there are quite a few that people get caught up in how cool they are, how cool their stories are, but like, bad wrestlers. You can't say no bad wrestlers.
There you go.
Make it
Yeah, no bias. That's love it.
Yeah. Sorry.
But going from bad wrestling to good let's
Okay,
get
Mae
off-
Young,
let's-
Mae Young.
Let's go to Mae Young.
Sorry.
This is what Spencer and I do. This is what happens.
And
This
that's
is
why-
why you're here, the ref.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to keep things somewhat straight.
We appreciate it.
So
All right.
this past Wednesday was episode 2 of round
there's-
1. We had 4 great matches last show.
I was going to say, don't continue on to say 4 great matches this show.
Now, you know what? This was a good middle of the road. You got to have 4 shows with 4 matches in it for that first round. You're not going to get 5-star classics out of each one. You're not going to get any 5-star classics if you got Dave Meltzer there, but that's a different story
Yeah,
itself.
fair enough.
There it is.
But this one here, I think, was a strong second show to back up what happened on the first show. So,
All right, first match.
alrighty, let's hop right into
First
it.
match, guys.
Okay.
First match, because I have to sing the praises. I love her, even though the match was lackluster.
Priscilla Kelly taking on.
Deonna Purrazzo.
I was just waiting to get the.
Oh, sorry, that
anticipation
is
up
my
there.
girl. That is my girl. Love her.
You seem very excited to say that. We were all waiting for you there.
My girl, I love you.
All right. Well, the one thing you notice about the
Speaking of biases.
coming out right at the beginning, you could tell the music was actually quite perfect for both these girls.
Oh, yes.
So CFO Money Sign did it right this show.
What a stupid name.
Well, a lot,
That's a sentence I never thought I'd hear.
What a stupid name.
last man with the name Love, and you relate to brother by some chance.
Shit.
Okay, back off the ref.
Well, there you go. Exactly.
Keep
so
me out of this.
Let's just move on to the match.
Thank you very much.
It got real hostile just
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't say that this match got really hostile. It was really quick overall.
I was surprised. I thought it would be a little bit longer.
There wasn't a whole lot given to Priscilla Kelly in that point.
I thought they gave absolutely nothing to Purrazzo.
She had
I thought that she was very underrepresented in this match. I thought Kelly looked good, I'll be honest. I thought she looked good. I didn't think Purrazzo looked her best. I thought that armbar was sick at the end, don't get me wrong. And there's definitely... She's had better matches. There's evidence that she's better than tonight was, but... Or I guess... Wednesday was, excuse me, we just watched.
It's either way.
Yeah. It wasn't the best.
What I've been seeing is a trait now of the people losing in the first round really getting a lot of stuff in and making themselves
Getting their
well
stuff
known.
in, yeah.
I think it's more for a showcase of the talent that's leaving in the first round. So it's almost to the point where it's getting a little bit predictable early in matches to see who's going to win, just solely based on who's getting their stuff in. The other person's going to get the victory out of it.
Yeah, but that's a symptom of the problem that is WWE.
Touche. Now, all biasness aside, which I hope...
Biasness?
Biases.
Biasness.
A murder of bias.
Biases.
Your thoughts on the match?
I have to disagree with Spencer about his thoughts because but I'm also looking at it through a different lens. In regards to the actual match and psychology-wise, there was clearly a superior wrestler, but Priscilla Kelly had to get her shit in, like you said, Mike. So I could tell just by the pace. Okay, we're getting off track. Just by I'm getting too technical, but
you could tell
there was a little bit. Sorry, Mike. A little bit. Deanna was a better wrestler, but Priscilla Kelly had to get her shit in. So.
Yeah, you could tell Peraza was in control of the match despite of the moveset that Priscilla put in.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Mike. Summary.
I'm an analyst. What can I say?
And I'm not. I'm just a bundle of crap.
No.
That was
wow.
Self-deprecating. Self-deprecating.
And you can tell why I don't edit these shows right now. Do we want to move on to the next match, or do you, Spencer, you got something else?
My rebuttal? Not much. I don't know. Peraza's clearly a great wrestler.
Yeah.
There's you can't debate that, to be honest with you, but I just thought she got, 3 or 4 moves in this.
Yeah.
And I thought, regardless of the fact that they need to showcase the wrestlers in the first round, frankly, I've never understood, even myself, why people would get booked in the first round just to lose if they're going to be in a short match, but...
Hey, if I'm going to get a WWE paycheck and a look, I'm going to...
Yeah, at the same time, I don't think that... I think they could have given Peraza more regardless.
Just to kind of show what you're going to get next round.
Even in the fact that, Peraza can move on. I don't know if Priscilla Kelly signed a WWE or not. Peraza is. She could have even recovered from a loss here, but to give her that little in a win is a little confusing to me.
Right now, Priscilla Kelly is in that WWN family of shows. Evolve, Shine, whatnot.
Okay,
so she's pretty much...
She's in, UK,
she's in the
right?
prospect
She's in
pool.
UK division?
No, that's a different girl that's involved there. In the NXT UK division. I know who you talk about, I just can't...
Ilsa Dawn?
No,
the one who's got, sort of a...
Paige-type look?
Not Paige-type look, but sort of like a gothic gimmick.
I don't know. I told you guys I have a bad memory.
Either way, Priscilla Kelly basically is in the AAA farm system of WWE right now. Yeah. If she isn't on the NXT roster, she very well could be very soon.
And she looked really good tonight. I wouldn't be surprised.
But then moving on from there...
Ding, ding, ding. Sorry.
We had a big, swole Ariel Monroe.
Who was sick.
I love her. Be my friend.
Against... Zusi from Mexico.
Who's not sick?
I was on the fence. This
one here told a bit of a story, and it's one that I knew from Monroe's past in the WWN minor system once again. You had Monroe... Somebody tried to play with her hair.
Man, don't touch a girl's hair.
Anytime somebody tries to play with her hair, she basically loses it. And of course, it's everybody's laughing at the fact that the guy with no hair is talking about all this. So.
I didn't even see the irony in that, but that's what
I didn't either. I was just laughing at Spencer's cough.
One thing I will say is,
excuse me,
you had your classic striker versus technician match here.
Yeah.
With Zusi being the more technical wrestler and Monroe definitely being the striker. In the end, it was a Spanish fly from the top rope. Absolutely beautiful.
It was perfect.
That ended up getting the 1-2-3.
9.5 out of 10 was the finish. Sorry, the rest of the match was okay.
I was going to say that. Your thoughts first. I took the last
first?
one.
Me first?
You first.
Okay. I thought the match was sloppy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think...
But sorry, Spencer, although Ariel Monroe, that was the first time I've ever seen her wrestle, and she impressed me, and she caught my eye. She has the in one freaking pinky, she has more personality than half the people on the roster right now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to agree with you. Zeus's.
It's like Susie, but flip it.
Zeusy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen to
Zeusy.
Morgan.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Zeusy didn't look good. Man, that sentence took me longer than I really wanted it to because it was a pretty blunt statement that I needed to get out there. I don't think she looked good. There were, like you said, she had a couple of really sloppy moves, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Monroe, like she said, even in
Stole the show.
her, even in her pre-match interview, that she has like a swag that no one else does. Like, I sort of agree with that.
Yeah.
She's got a cool vibe about her. I really liked her.
I just thought they had zero chemistry. I think that affected the sloppiness of the match.
Yeah, and I do
That's
think the wrong person won, but again, I don't know the full second round bracket and how it plays out for the winners, but maybe it is just WWE booking and they want to get a heel versus a face for the next round. And Monroe may be just a victim of that.
I haven't spoiled myself, so I don't know.
You haven't done yourself a spoil.
No, I haven't spoiled anything, so I don't know. This is unbiased.
Morgan, you had a few
Yes,
thoughts
Morgan,
there?
give your thought.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, if you took Monroe out of it and put somebody who literally moved the exact same way as her with less personality, that match wouldn't be much worth watching. But she's cool, and she, like, makes you want to watch.
Yeah, commands attention.
She's got an infectious personality.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the key things when it comes to Monroe, and I could see her coming back and getting signed by WWE very soon.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
She's not just her hair.
Mae Young Classic 3.
Mae Young Classic 3.
Well, I got a feeling there'll be a few call-ups soon, which means you're gonna have to fill that roster again at NXT. So
Yep.
Nikki Cross!
Eventually.
My poor girl.
calm down.
I know. I wish she would have come up with sanity, but
Drop
that's a
the
story.
ball.
That's a story for a different day.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to get like this sound effect where I just rein everything back in.
What's like a rain sound? Is it just, would you do a whip?
Trickle,
No,
trickle,
just do
trickle.
like a storm track.
A what?
Like a,
Ka-ching.
like rain.
You're
Speaking of
you're going for an ironic rain.
Speaking of rain, our next matchup had the 6-foot Rayna Gonzalez
Oh, you so punny.
taking on American Ninja Warrior alumni Katie Catanzaro.
I'm not going to
5 foot
say
tall.
anything for 2 minutes as punishment for that pun.
KJ, your thoughts
Spencer
here?
first.
It was
I don't know. I said it before. Sorry, I just don't like David and Goliath matches. So that's all I have to say.
It's the second time in 2 shows that the third match on the card has been the David versus Goliath matchup here. And it really, to me, it took a lot out of it for the fact that you're doing the exact same style of match in the exact same spot on the card. When you're,
Yeah.
it's almost like you're typecasting that, like we're expecting the third match of the next show to be the exact same thing. 2 minutes are up. What do you guys say, sir?
Your punishment is over.
Oh my god.
Thanks,
laugh.
Spencer.
I can't.
I thought this was cool. I thought this was a really, really well done match. I still can't pronounce her last name. I'm going to be honest.
Catanzaro?
Catanzaro?
Yeah.
Cool. Casey Catanzaro looked really, really good coming out of this for someone who has limited experience in the ring.
Yeah.
I thought that I'm really bad with like the technical names of matches, but that springboard off the top rope where she reversed herself and did the Hurricanrana into the...
she basically did it was a
Handstand.
handstand with a hand reversal into a...
Thank you. There we go.
Into
the ring post. Yeah, into a kick in the face and the whatchamacallit.
With the flip and the thing
With
and
the
the
flip
whatever.
and the thing and
Yep,
the what's a
that
doozy.
spot right
Wow.
Yeah. It was really, really cool. Sorry to get back to serious conversation here. Rayna Gonzalez.
there. Did her job. She did
She
her
really
freaking
did her
yeah.
job. The one thing that I will have against her is I know nothing about ring psychology, but the one thing I'll never understand is why people wrestle in any iteration of jeans. I just don't get it. They seem uncomfortable, and I bet they would have slowed Rayna Gonzalez down a bit. So, my 2 cents. But like you said, she did her job. She made Catanzaro look really, really good. And who's Catanzaro going up against next round?
I think it's
She
TBD.
was one of the 2 announced. I think she was one of the 2 announced matches.
Rhea Ripley.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
That I feel scared for Casey at this point.
Rhea better
having to take on
tear
Rhea Ripley.
it.
They are going to be a great contrast in personalities.
Absolutely.
Absolutely great.
R.I.P. Casey.
For me, this was almost like carbon copy of what we saw last week with Vanessa Craven and Lacey Lane. Other than the fact that Casey has a little unique in her character compared to anybody else on the roster. In the end, you had a quick roll-up for a 1-2-3 out of shock. The only thing that upset me at the end of this was literally the end of this. When you had Rayne come back into the ring and do the Macho Man Elizabeth spot with Casey on her shoulder.
Oh, when the match was done.
Yeah, when the match was
I didn't
done.
like that.
Honestly, I get you're playing a vicious heel throughout the match. You didn't do the polite shaking of hands before the match. You don't come back in the ring and try to make friends like that after the match without pulling something.
I agree. That was a complete contrast in her personality. It was if you weren't going to go out of your way in that video package at the start of the match to say you've got a new attitude, you're meaner now, all that sort of stuff, regardless of who you're facing in their first match. To be honest with you, I would have then made the switch and had Catanzaro go against Craven and had Lacey Lane go against Gonzalez. Because, like, at that point, Gonzalez could have shown that sort of more vicious side at the end of the match, and Craven didn't really play a huge heel in her match.
She just played a dominant monster.
Yeah, she's the sort of person who could afford that sort of, I guess, bit of changing character at the time to put someone like that over. Whereas Gonzalez, to me, if you're going to go out of your way to put yourself over as a heel in the video package, slap her hand away in the pre-match handshake, like, you completely, you completely 180'd.
Well, the only way I'll ever accept, psychologically, the only way I'll ever accept somebody coming back into the ring after they've left, when you just beast mode somebody for 10 minutes, is if they gained a respect from you. But I don't think Casey gained any respect because she got a quick 1-2-3 on a freaking roll-up.
Yep.
What kind of, you beat the crap out of her for the whole match, and all of a sudden she gets a quick roll-up win or whatever that she did. I don't think there was any respect gained. Maybe that she could take a beating, but the fact that she came back into the ring and was like, whatever, buddy, I didn't like it. But
Now, was that Catanzaro's first match?
I think so.
No, she's competed in the NXT, the road tours.
Okay.
Oh, but not on TV, though. This is her
not
first
on
TV
TV.
match.
Okay.
It doesn't count, Mike. If it's not on camera, it doesn't count. You should
Mike.
know that. You should know that, Mike.
Bitter it didn't happen, as the kids are,
pics or it didn't happen.
Kids are saying.
Morgan, you have any thoughts on this match?
Not really. Same kind of thing as you guys with that ending. Like, even the fact that when she was on her shoulder, like, her body language was all off, and she was like, you couldn't even tell if she was like mad or gonna flip her down or like just none of it was clear. It was all weird. It was, yeah.
In my opinion, the only reason that she did it, and it's actually smart if this is the reason. How many snapshots are going to be taken that photo? How many papers is that going to be in? How many websites is that going to be posted on?
But her body language is confusing.
But just having the face there, like who's that girl?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Regardless,
But nobody's going to be looking at her because she lost. I'm sorry.
Well, just the fact that you're in there with somebody
I
like
guess.
that.
Curious who she won against her.
It could lead to some bookings.
Now, to be honest with you, maybe like long term, this will lead to something at the Mae Young Classic 3. It's gonna happen. If they did Mae Young Classic 2 and they've done this many returns, if she's one of the only like 3-time returnees, they could do something really, really cool with this.
Absolutely.
However, in a what's the word I'm looking for? In a vacuum, this is bad. Excuse me. In a nutshell,
I didn't like it. Next match.
Well, speaking of returnees, man, we got segues all over the place here.
I'm really good at this.
The returning Mercedes Martinez taking on Ashley Rayne in our main event. As KJ is dancing around here right now.
I'm just got the Beautiful People theme song in my head.
Honestly, watching this match, Ashley Rayne hasn't lost a step. Mercedes Martinez is top-notch on top of her game right now. This was a very close matchup, and with two great competitors, and I think we can honestly say that was a pretty dang good match from those two.
An amazingly wrestled match. A good wrestling match.
I'd agree.
If you're setting up a 32-person bracket, I wouldn't want to say 15-16 in terms of a matchup, in terms of numbers in the bracket, but two very even competitors that very well could be paired up in a further round here to go up against each other.
Yep. It's every year you've got something that you're surprised is in the first round. Like last year, I was surprised Tessa Blanchard was out in the first round. This year, spoilers ahead, I was very, very surprised that they booked one of those two to lose off the bat. Anytime you see the bracket made, when I saw these two matched up, I was really surprised that one of these two was going to go out in the first
How is that a
round.
spoiler?
Well, I guess we've been talking about it all
break.
night. Never mind.
Oh
Excuse
my
me.
god.
Now, this also goes back to even the CWC.
I was
when
continuing there and
Go ahead.
Back
Sorry.
off, Mike.
Go.
Go.
Hostility.
Yeah, thanks. Talking about CWC, going ahead to plug yourself again. You always criticize me for that shit.
Oh,
Mike.
come on.
No, I was actually talking about the Cruiserweight Classic, not.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you, jerk.
I'll take two. You take this one then.
I was thinking. This is very.
Come watch me wrestle next weekend.
All right.
I mean, watch Envy wrestle.
You're both on a timeout for 30 seconds while I get this out.
Go ahead, Mike.
This
6:30.
This also reminds me of when we went back to the original Cruiserweight Classic. You had Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano in the first round. Two people that should have been possibly a quarterfinal in that tournament.
But this was before they were Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
No, they were like that before. We just didn't know it in terms of what we
is
saw.
what I'm saying, yeah.
Their story is very, you can't say similar, but the best comparison you can make is very much like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Is they've known each other for years. Like, people were surprised at the end of the Cruiserweight Classic that Ciampa didn't turn on Gargano. Tough word to get out right now. Thank you.
But going on to this match here, both these competitors knew each other very well and pulled out some moves that a lot of the time I didn't even know they had in here.
Yep.
And we were scared that we had a concussion within the first 2 minutes of the match where Rayne got caught in what I called half a one-winged angel.
Yeah, like I really don't know what you would call that, but it was
like
really cool.
German / sit down power bomb.
She basically went for a wheelbarrow bulldog, and Mercedes blocked it, grabbed her head, tucked it underneath, and just slammed her down shoulders first on the mat.
Yeah, she did the thing and twisted it into the other thing.
Yep.
And just turned her into mush, basically.
It was. Go ahead.
Absolutely insanely impressed with the stalled vertical suplex by
was the crowd.
Mercedes. And the crowd, I'm surprised the crowd didn't count. That kind of crowd there is usually counting along with something like that. But
I didn't think they expected it is what's happening.
It's because it's much more impressive than Bobby Lashley's. I thought it was really, really just a well done match between the two. I'm glad that of any of the matches on the card, this was the one that got time.
Oh, it had to.
It did, but I thought the same. I thought that
service not to.
Peraza. Yeah, I thought that Peraza would have gotten time too.
Maybe against a different opponent next round.
Yeah, but I
don't know who she faces next round.
Well, in next round you're only gonna have 3 episodes per. Three matches.
You'll still
per
have
episode?
You'll still have 4 matches per episode next round, and then it typically goes down to 2.
But either way, I thought this was very, very well done. I was very impressed again with Ashley Rayne, and I was very impressed again with.
You know what?
Well, there goes my life. I just lost 10 years after my life. Right there.
Actually, it's rather ironic. I want to come back to that in one moment.
Dropping all of the pencil crayons.
Yes, I want to get back to that because that's going to be talking about this Mae Young tournament. But go ahead and continue. Spencer.
I don't even remember where I was going with that. Sorry, I was just very impressed with the two of them again. The one last thing I did want to say is did you guys see that they did a backstage interview with it was Jeremy Borash interviewing Ashley Rayne? And just for me to see that on WWE television after their history and impact is just, it's hilarious. I love it. Mike, your thought about the drop pencil crowns?
Well, first of all, I'm going to mention this match ended with Mercedes Martinez's actual finisher, that Fisherman's Buster.
Yep.
I'm surprised WWE allows a move like that now, since it's very similar to the Muscle Buster by Samoa Joe. But Mercedes handles it so well that I'm glad that she was allowed to pull it off. Now, the reason I'm bringing up a bunch of pencil crowns and a coloring book is this was the only match that I felt on this card that was not really a paint by numbers match.
Jesus Christ, Mike.
She was coloring, not painting by numbers.
You held on to that one.
Yes, I
that
did.
long. And went out of your way to tell the audience you advertised that.
It wasn't paint by... Her book was not paint by numbers, but the first three matches were. They were very...
Step by step by step.
A to B, C, fall through. There's no real flow to it. And that just speaks that much more to Ashley Rayne and Mercedes Martinez on how well they went, because it looked like there was a little bit more feel to that match and a little more flow to it than you would see in the other three matches.
You know what? To be honest with you, the best way to compare it for me was it was like watching the pre-show to SummerSlam. Your first three matches all ended with surprise endings. Was that to the point that I made, or did you hit your knee on the table?
I'm old, guys.
Folks,
I do the wrestle. I hurt all the time. I'm sorry. My left knee just gave out.
But
Good thing I don't wrestle till next week, I guess.
I completely agree with you with the type of endings there, and KJ, I picked the worst times to ask her stuff.
I think we already know, like, the beautiful person, Ashley Rayne. She didn't bring her bag out to the ring. I'm upset, but... Oh, sorry, that was like 10 years ago that happened.
Wow.
No, I thought, like I said before, it was such a greatly, wrestled match that no matter who won, I wouldn't have been upset.
Speaking of that, I love these segues. Let's go to next round and just talk about the upcoming matchup there. Miko Satomura versus Mercedes Martinez.
I am so very, very excited to watch that match. Satomura is, I compared to Joey Janela before All In. Like, once I heard that they were announced, I started watching a lot of them. So Satomura, I'm not all that familiar with outside of sort of the highlights I got to see on YouTube and her match last week against Killer Kelly. She is absolutely incredible. I'm so very, very excited to watch her because, to me, like Mercedes Martinez, she is a consummate professional. All of her matches that I've watched, whether it be here, whether it be on the independent scene, she's been great. She's absolutely been great. So to watch her with, and not to take anything away from the women from last year, but like a genuine legend in Satomura, it's going to be incredible.
Absolutely. KJ, your thoughts?
Ditto. I'm just excited. I love wrestling, so I just as long as it's going to be a great wrestling match, but I guarantee it's going to be a great wrestling match, so I'm pumped. It better be the main, is what I'm saying.
For me, it's two people that are heavy hitters, and pardon my French, but they don't fuck around in that ring. Either one of them.
No.
And I can't wait to see what happens when two workhorses like this go at it one-on-one.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it. They're workhorses, definitely.
Yeah.
This is another one of those matchups that I'm surprised is happening in the round it is. Because this, to me, to be honest with you, if the cards were played out right, this is a match that I would believe these two in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once we get through the first few rounds, we might have to do a rebook episode here on where we think we should, sort of a fantasy draft of where we think everybody should have been booked on this card. But that's something we can think about for a future episode.
I was going to say, we still got to finish this one. We still don't know if I'm going to be invited back.
No.
Morgan, do you have any thoughts about tonight's show before we move on to predictions and whatnot?
Not really.
That's
Just
my girlfriend, everybody.
Just happy to be here. No, it's the first time I've watched a show of that kind, so it's kind of hard to have comparison points.
Was it worth watching? That's the question.
Parts of it were, yeah. I'm pretty judgy of female wrestlers because I don't think that my standards should be lowered for them. And there were people that caught my eye and people that I'm glad that I saw. So
Damn, I knew I liked you.
You know, comments like that are going to make you a regular guest on this show, right?
Mike looks at me and then he makes the comment. I'm like, I knew I liked you.
sorry, I'm crude and I don't get caught up in the storylines. I just
that's another
judge people
point.
pretty hard.
Yeah.
I think I'm being replaced here at this
Say
point.
it as it is.
Well, Mike, she has hair.
Touche.
I'm just kidding. All right. Okay, so last week when we put up the podcast, they didn't have the Mae Young, oh my god, the Mixed Match Challenge wasn't announced yet, so we have to talk about it this week. So I just want to get your guys' overall thoughts on what you think.
I think they got a better mixed match of teams here, and I think they might have a little bit better understanding of what they're walking into this time. Hopefully.
I really hope so. I thought last year was great, so you know what? To be honest with you, I'm going into this one way more optimistic than I did last year. You know, I wasn't looking forward to the team of Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman. They turned out to be an absolute hit. The Miz and Asuka were an absolute hit, you know, so regardless of my trepidation going into an AJ Styles, Charlotte Flair team,
I feel like they're going to be the Asuka and Miz of this year.
Yeah, I feel like there could be a couple.
I think the underdog team in this show is the one that's already being presented on SmackDown right now.
Carmella and R-Truth.
Like, the fact that they've managed to flip Carmella.
Effortlessly.
Yeah, well.
Nobody even noticed. It happened so quick.
Yeah. It just took one match against The Miz that fixed it.
Which was really, really stupid. You know what? Even outside of the Mixed Match Challenge, which for me is a perfect way to, like, do something outside of kayfabe while still keeping your character, you know? You can have them sort of break character as far as that goes, but don't present Carmella as a babyface on SmackDown when you've been building her as not just a heel, as your top heel for the last 6 months, arguably.
Yeah.
Even if, like, you want to really count back to it, like, since she won the Money in the Bank contract.
Well, you can... I simply think of it as this. She can act as a face right now. If they really want to keep her a heel, she screws R-Truth out of the Mixed Match Challenge. And that's the last
Breaks
time...
up with him,
well,
so to speak.
Yeah, well...
For Ty Dillinger in the ultimate heel turn.
There you go.
For the both of them.
As she's teaming up with the Iconics.
Wow, that'd be like 6 degrees of separation here.
Boom.
You know what? I could buy a faction of Dillinger with those three. As like a heel faction.
Oh, I
All
love
four
it.
of them have
I
some
would
sort of
go
like
for it.
glamorous vibe about them.
So does Dillinger become meat, and the other three become PMS?
Wow, I don't... no.
I'm just...
No.
I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm disagreeing with it.
All right?
I don't know how they do it. All four of them, like... It's not exactly their gimmick, but all four of their gimmicks are about, you know, how great they are, or how iconic they are, or how
Their
much of a
vainess.
perfect 10 they are.
Now,
Or
what-
Mela is money. Like, all four of it is about, like...
Now,
Not to hyperbolize here, but, like, they've all got, like, an evolution. Sort of like, we're the best of the best.
very well, if they keep getting these wins the way they are right now. What do you think about having it still on Facebook Watch?
You know what? Double down. Why not?
Well, the fact that...
You know what? I think WWE in a lot of ways, in a lot of ways they get criticized. They are ahead of the curve in a lot of things. Like, a lot of people didn't think that a major wrestling pay-per-view would sell out, and they put on WrestleMania. You know, I think that, you know, can you compare Facebook Watch to that? Absolutely not. But live video is a lot of the way that things are going. Like, even Instagram's adding their live video component to their stuff, and that's getting bigger and bigger.
Well, the one thing I will say is this year, at least in Canada, we can watch Facebook Watch. We couldn't do that last year.
I was going to say, that was my biggest complaint, was you're having this awesome tournament thing going on, but only one country out of however many countries they broadcast to can actually watch it live. And then the rest of the world watches it tomorrow after they've been spoiled already.
I have never
Right?
understood, and you know what, don't get me wrong, every other country has, like, the technology to do it, but, like, we're right above the United States. How is there shit that we can't access? Like, I can't watch stuff on NBC. I can't pull up
Netflix Canada.
I can't pull up a Saturday Night Live clip because this isn't available in my country. You're telling me that people in Seattle can get shit that I can't get?
Spencer's
What?
bitter, can you tell?
I'm really bitter.
There's something about a border and some wall or something that I've heard, but I don't
Trump.
I don't want to get involved in that stuff. Who do you right now, just off the top of your head, who do you think is going to be the biggest team in the tournament?
Um,
The
winners?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Can you name off the teams for? I don't remember all of them off the top of my head.
Okay, so we'll go with Raw first. Finn Bailey, Bobby Sasha, Alexa Braun. Oh my god, why am I drawing a blank on the fourth?
Because there's only 12
Is
teams.
it-
Oh, no,
No, it's
Alicia and,
Alicia and Jinder.
yes, Jinder. And then we got,
What about Natalia? Is it
Natalia
oh,
Owens?
yes. Sorry, I forgot that one.
Oh, Natalia
I'm so sorry,
Owens would be
Natty.
sick.
But unfortunately, they get, I believe, their first round match
Oh, yeah,
is
aren't they
against
Bush Strowman?
No, they get, no, you're right. It is Bliss Strowman
Yeah,
in
they're
the
done.
first
Sorry.
round. And then you got Jay and Naomi.
Again.
AJ Charlotte.
AJ Charlotte, Carmella Truth.
Asuka Miz. And I think that's it.
I think that's
Oh
it,
no,
'cause-
Rusev and Lana.
yeah.
You know what? I'm just any chance I get here,
Oh,
I'm
God.
100%. I'm 100% likely wrong.
No, don't say
Throw-
it. Don't say it.
Throwing my money behind Rusev Day.
Folks, you could find Spencer and he'll definitely bet you money on that there.
He'll be wearing a shirt during the Mismatch Challenge.
I can
Rusev Day.
100% tell you that. You know what? Rusev and Lana are great. They're just flat out great, and I'm not going to take over the fucking podcast here with how great Rusev and Lana
they
are.
are.
It's gonna be
You guys can tune into Over the Top Rope, part of the Win Column Sports Network for that one. But I will not rant about Rusev and Lana here. All I want to say is that Vince McMahon, if for whatever reason you hear any appearance that I am on a podcast, he will hear me mentioning how great Rusev and Lana is. Lana are, excuse me, not is. And if I'm the reason that they get some sort of small victory in their lives, fuck yeah, I'm going to take that chance.
Oh, okay.
I think that's going to wrap it up. Everything
On that note,
everything starts up on the Mixed Match Challenge next Tuesday, so we'll have a little bit to talk about here next week about the first matchup in the Mixed Match Challenge. So
I had to pose a question though.
Oh,
I wrote
go
this
ahead.
down. Okay, guys. You're in the Mixed Match Challenge. Who on the current WWE roster do you choose to be your partner?
Spence?
What do you do first? Shit. Be easy to say Ronda Rousey.
I'm taking it.
that's what I was gonna say.
Bunch of cheaters.
No, you know what? I'll take Sasha Banks.
Good man. Good man. You can stay another day.
Thank you very much. No,
She'll lose in the first round. She'll get buried everywhere.
Yeah, probably. She's partnering Bobby Lashley, guys. I'm so disappointed.
That's sad.
I'm
Bobby
so
Lashley
disappointed.
sucks.
Seriously, they couldn't have picked a more boring partner for that girl.
Come on, he's starting to develop a new manager now, and Leo
And Leo
Rush.
Rush is
Well,
also
if I
douche.
see him with them, I will lose my mind.
Leo's a douche. And I have to say, I've never met the guy personally, but
I have.
I've never heard a good thing. Moving
on.
Are you keeping Rhonda? Is that your partner?
I wouldn't be crazy enough to pick anybody else, really, but
Okay.
I would actually take Becky if it was any other choice there. Because, redheads will steal the souls of everybody else, so then...
Well, Becky's just a bad bitch.
That too. And also, she trained in BC.
So there's
a good girl.
three things. There's three things. Good wrestler, trained in BC, bad bitch.
Bad bitch. I think we know who I'm going to choose, so you don't have to say it.
Bray Wyatt.
Do you know me at all? I'm ashamed.
Harper.
Rusev.
Smart enough, she's an Aiden English girl.
Oh, definitely. He's drafted
Everybody's
number one. No, Finn Balor's my partner, hands down.
No, no deal.
Finn Balor.
Of course.
Yeah, Finn Balor. Or Seth, but Finn Balor is number one for me.
So, folks, you can realize we are really trying to avoid Hell in the Cell predictions because this is not looking good.
I forgot that was happening this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I'm not forgetting that we're going to be down at Beercade watching the event. At least, I'll be. I don't know if Spencer will be or not.
Portions of it. Very excited to be going to my cousin and his lovely wife's wedding.
So don't forget, check it out at Beercade if you're in Edmonton, 106th Street and White Avenue. I will be there selling tickets for both CWC Shattered coming up on Saturday in Red Deer and MPW Vindication October 6th in Edmonton. Cheap plugs once again.
Fair enough. Shattered is the title of the worst Rolling Stones song of all time.
I just, right now, personally...
Thanks, Spence.
There's your fun fact. Don't listen to the song fucking Shattered. It's terrible.
Fucking Shattered.
Long story short, I called this Shattered because that's pretty much the way I think of this card.
Whoa.
Show.
Listen.
When it comes to Hell in the Cell.
Okay. I was going to say, listen up. There's a great wrestler on that Shattered card, so I don't know what you're talking about.
CWC's having their first ever women's Fatal 4-Way match.
Very excited for that one.
I know who my pick is.
Cherry Dowell, right? She's undefeated.
Angelica.
Angelica's the shit. She's a bad bitch.
I know, that's why you're picking
She had a great interview here.
That's our second bad bitch, for those of you counting.
She had a great interview here last 2
We're going to
weeks here.
start ending this show with KJ's Bad Bitches of the Night.
And this is the bad
It'll
bitch
be
countdown.
like our Molson.
All
Number
right.
5 on the bad bitch countdown this
All
week
right.
is Angelica.
All
Our
right, let's,
Molson Cup 3 stars brought to you by.
all right, let's roll this back in here.
Raw. Let me
sucked.
just say, I PVR'd it, and I fast-forwarded almost through the whole thing because my girls weren't on Raw. So that's all I gotta say. Oh, but Ruby did amazing in her match against Nikki. I just gotta say that.
But let's get into the Hell in the Cell matchup here. You got Rousey getting to defend her women's championship against Alexa Bliss once again. Does anybody here think that there's going to be anything different in the result?
Absolutely not.
No, but Bliss is going to surprise people like she did at Elimination Chamber.
And win?
No. But like, look really, really impressive.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
I honestly, I completely forgot she won that match.
The only thing I remember is Sasha's disappointing face and Bailey's face after she kicked her off the pod.
Look at her face.
I'm better than you, Bailey.
I think Alexa Bliss looked really, really good throughout that entire match. I think people who think that she can't wrestle are wrong. They're just comparing her to people like Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch or that sort of stuff who are incredible wrestlers. You know? Alexa Bliss is great at what she does, and I think I said it on this podcast, but it may have been on mine. Alexa Bliss, like, as a heel, you can't really show everything you can do.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
If you want to be an effective heel, you leave people wanting more.
Mm-hmm. Because there will be a Bliss babyface turn eventually, and she's going to wow people. I'm sure that
One
much.
day down the road.
Yep.
She'll get a Sasha Banks turn because she gets 2 over.
Yep.
She's already almost there, too, so.
I don't disagree with you there. Although I will say that she, like, regardless of the fact that she gets cheered, she is arguably the best person on the roster, regardless of gender, at, like, shutting down cheers or any sort of chants or anything like that. Like, when she was in Columbus, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where she got everybody excited for her being there and then completely shut her down on the, like, Ohio chants. It's great. Love it. One of the most effective heels on the roster, if not the most effective heel on the roster.
So then from there we go to the 2 SmackDown matches, and I think we'll go to the one that might be less predictable here, and that's actually the Mixed Tag Challenge with Brie Bella, Daniel Bryan taking on The Miz and
You
Maurice.
call it less predictable?
I think it's less predictable.
Interesting.
I really think that they might actually give The Miz and Maurice the victory because...
Wait!
Oh, wait, hold on. There's been
I almost lost my cue!
There's been a...
This is why I don't do many run-ins, guys.
There's a very specific thing that KJ wants on this podcast this week. So.
Because we need to commemorate it because it's been, 10 years since we've heard her... Not even 10 years.
Since we've heard this.
6 years? I don't know.
Since we've heard this.
Oh, we have to play it. Can I
we'll play it.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
You know, Dad just did in post.
Too easy tonight.
Makes me so happy. Oh, see, Morgan, I love it.
Groovy. I don't know the words to this.
It's, if anybody didn't know, I'm actually French-Canadian. But you should know that by now. But that's my girl. That is my girl.
Canada.
Spencer knows, yeah. He's the one that, like, asked me about it. The first ever person that asked me about it.
Now I think Miz and Maurice are going to get a victory here, just shoving Brian further deeper into a situation where he's going to have to possibly put up his career against the Miz for something.
I think they're going to do some slight replication of the Gargano-Ciampa storyline as far as this goes. And as far as I'm concerned, Brian can't win until he beats the Miz at WrestleMania for the championship.
Oh, when you said Ciampa and Gargano, I thought, like, oh, Miz is turning on Maurice?
No. You know what? I think it's so predictable. And I know I'm not a booker by any means, so they'll probably do something either incredibly cool with this or incredibly disappointing with this. I may be wrong. But to me, it makes perfect sense for the Miz to somehow become the next WWE champion. Now, some interesting stat that I did see here is that the Miz on the last 4 sort of major statement shows, I think it was SmackDown 900, Raw 1000, Raw 25, and I can't remember what the 4th one was. Say like Raw 750, whatever the hell, just to put a number on it. Mm-hmm. He won a championship at each of those 4 shows. SmackDown,
really?
Yep, SmackDown 1000 is coming up, and
October 16th.
Yeah, and I don't know how you make the transition, but I could fully see The Miz becoming a WWE champion. The guy's earned it over the last, 3 years? If it wasn't for AJ Styles, The Miz would be the MVP of WWE, as far as I'm concerned, personally.
Even just look at what he's done in the last, 6 months.
Right? People are still talking about his promo on Talking Smack 2 years ago. And to see Daniel Bryan, number one, the best way for me to get there is Daniel Bryan was to win the Royal Rumble. When he's already been so screwed by the Royal Rumble.
Where is the Rumble this year?
It's Phoenix.
Yeah, Arizona.
My question is, Brie and Maurice. Okay, well, Brie, first of all.
You mean Brie Botch?
We already talked about that last week.
I was going to say, we didn't even talk about SmackDown here. Let's talk.
Did she botch on SmackDown? I didn't watch the full match.
One.
Sorry, Maurice.
No. It just was not a very good match.
Well, I mean...
It was a 5-minute main event setting up for
Daniel Bryan and The Miz.
Yeah.
My question is, why is Brie on both shows?
Advertising Total Bellas. I would honestly...
That's it.
I would guess a piece of it may be Nikki's neck.
But Nikki's the one that wrestled Ruby, though.
Yeah.
But all I have to say is they made a good choice.
She's a bigger name.
On why they had Ruby wrestle Nikki, because she's just amazing. So if you're going to have somebody that needs to protect someone like that, put her in there with Ruby or
Brie
Bayley.
was wrestling the next night. Sorry. Brie was wrestling the next night. I don't know how much you need to protect either of them.
Not
Again,
really.
just speculation on my part, right? But... I don't know. That's the only explanation I could think of outside of Total Bellas.
Sometimes WWE just does stuff for doing stuff.
Because they just decide they want to.
Pretty much.
Free agent Brie Bella.
Well, I just think that the team's going to lose just because of the colors they're wearing. Seattle Seahawks? Like, seriously?
Oh, come on, Mike. No, you know what?
My team just lost 47-3, so I'm allowed to complain.
I won in fantasy 2 weeks in a row. Well, sorry, I guess 2 games.
There's only been 1 week.
Sorry, I was correcting myself there. 2 games in 1 week.
Okay.
There we go. I guess after Thursday Night Football, I may be winning. Stay tuned for my fantasy football results tomorrow.
Oh, good lord.
I think we've officially gone off the rails here.
Off the rails.
Yeah, that's Total Bella's promotion at its finest.
Yeah.
The WWE corporate machine.
So, you never gave your prediction on who you think is going to win this mixed match. This intergender match.
Well, I just like The Miz and Maurice, so I'm going to pick them. Even though I'm sorry, I've never gotten on Daniel Bryan's train. So.
Spencer?
100% on the Miz and Maurice train.
Yeah.
I think Maurice pins Brie.
Ooh, yeah, I'd like that. I'd be down for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd go with that.
Only if she does her finisher that we haven't seen in God knows
And
how
only
long.
We
to
saw
give-
it on Tuesday.
Did we? Okay, see, this is what I mean
She-
where I was just not interested this week.
She finished up the night with her DDT.
Oh, good. Okay, then we're fine. Can we see it again? We can see it again.
Yeah,
twice in a
absolutely.
week.
But
Yeah.
from
I don't know.
there, let's go to the serious match. Like, I'm sorry, that one.
Serious
To me, this is like
The match.
this might be the match of the card. Charlotte and Becky.
Can you hear that? Can you? That's me applauding. My arms are too tired. I worked out, but
Wow.
That was a very contradictory
I
series of events
love
there.
this. I love Becky.
You said you had applauded. You had.
Do you hear that,
Then there we go.
Becky?
Anyway, your thoughts on
Becky.
your thoughts on the matchup and who's going to win?
I don't think there's a finish.
You don't think so?
I don't think there's a finish. The match is an actual match, so it can have any finish, clearly. I don't think there's a definite winner. I think it's double DQ or double count out.
They'd be stupid not to run it again at Evolution somehow.
Well,
be
they're
honest
doing
with
this
you.
match in Australia,
Yep.
so I feel like it's going to have, what did they do? AJ Shinsuke, where they just had
low blow?
a bunch of, well, yeah, sure, why not?
A bunch of
have
low
a
blows.
bunch of low blows. No, I was gonna say they had a series of matches where they weren't finishes. They were DQs, countouts. I feel like that's gonna happen until Evolution, and then that's where Becky gets her title, or just their blow off. I
If
guess.
WWE doesn't learn from their mistake as far as Shinsuke AJ goes, because you know what? People will look back poorly on that because of the fact that the first match wasn't great. The rest of them were good. I enjoyed the rest. You know what? I even enjoyed their WrestleMania match. It wasn't the 5-star classic everybody made it out to be, but it was a solid match. They got better from there. They went on one match too many. And to have them wrestle on SmackDown the week before, what was it? Was it, what's the pay-per-view after WrestleMania?
Backlash.
Extreme Backlash.
Backlash.
Yeah, was that the one where they wrestled, basically Mania, Greatest Royal Rumble, Backlash,
Yeah, they were
SmackDown,
going every 2
pay-per-view?
weeks.
Yeah, they at least wrestled one match too many as far as that goes, and they need to separate them at some point.
Do you guys remember when Charlotte, Sasha had their Falls Count Anywhere match? And how it led to it? Because they fought on the outside and they got double counted out like that?
Yep.
I think this happens similarly, but I think Charlotte finally loses it on Becky. And that's how we either get a double DQ or a double count out. That's how I think it's ending.
I think Becky comes in with a chair just so they can establish her as a heel finally.
I don't think they're doing that anymore, though. I think they're finally
No.
accepting
If-
that
if-
she's... even just like looking at the way she did her weird disguise thing.
You know
They've
what?
moved away from. They've moved completely away from her even blaming the fans. She hasn't brought them up at all.
I still,
Which I mean, you can't.
I still think that. Sorry, I have no faith in those writers, but I still think they're going to try a little bit more to see if they can use a chair to get over, and it won't. It'll go over like a lead balloon,
Just beat the shit out of her.
and then they're going to go into a no DQ match or
Yeah.
false count anywhere or something.
Yeah, I think that's why I think Charlotte's finally going to lose it, because Becky keeps getting the one-ups every single week.
Because I think Evolution needs a special gimmick match like that.
No DQ.
You don't
Make it
want
no DQ.
You don't want every match to be, besides title matches per se. You don't want every match just to be a generic one-on-one match throughout that entire
I'm going to
card.
predict it now.
Go
It'll
ahead.
be a last woman standing match.
Very well could be.
Yep,
That
at
would be
Evolution.
outstanding.
Yep, it's going to be a last
Would
woman
that
standing.
be a first ever for WWE?
For the main roster. Because
yeah,
they did
had
it with
Nikki
Asuka and
and,
Nikki in NXT, yeah.
Yep.
So main
what a
roster,
match.
yeah.
How could I forget about that?
I loved that match. Last woman standing, and then you could have a double count out again if you want, leading to what's right after that, Survivor Series.
Well, Survivor Series is a one-off now.
Yeah.
Champion teams.
Oh, that's
all
true.
that
Yeah, I
stuff.
keep forgetting about that.
We'll
Delay
cross
it,
that.
delay it.
We'll cross that
But
bridge
it's
when
the
we get
one
to it.
time of year that SmackDown and Raw Superstars face off, Mike.
Yeah. you know anybody that's listened to me on this podcast know I think that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
That is the dumbest. What are you fighting for? That's what I have to say. You're not fighting for anything. at that point.
Exactly. Like the one feud that they actually built up, they never followed through on with Triple H and Kurt Angle. outside of what they did at WrestleMania, which
I thought you were
to
talking
me
about
that was more to
Jinder
put.
Brock.
That was more to put. It was AJ Brock. Thank you.
No, it was
I
Jinder
know.
Brock first.
Do you not remember that they were building
I know.
Jinder Brock?
Literally a week before AJ wins the title back or whatever. Like,
But
Still a dream match.
anyway,
sorry. So terrible.
I guess I'm the one who's going to wrap this podcast up here.
Yeah, I have nothing else good to say about this week.
Spencer, you got a podcast coming out in a couple hours after this.
Oh, I do, but I didn't make my prediction. I'll plug that in a second here. I'll
Yeah,
just
prediction.
go
Go
on
ahead
an
and make your
extended final rant here.
I thought somewhere in there was a prediction.
I don't know. It was just a bunch
No,
of mumbling.
I don't see why you wouldn't capitalize on how hot Becky is right now. I think it'd be silly not to give her the championship at Hell in a Cell, to be honest with you. Have her win it, have her defend it dirty at, what are they calling it? The Super Showdown. Have her defend it, win or retain it dirty at the Super Showdown. They move on to Evolution, and at Evolution they have that, like you said, they could do the last woman standing match.
Yeah, or a DQ type.
Yep.
No DQ, sorry.
But Becky, like, regardless of how you think that her heel turn, and I am still using quotes here because they've sort of deviated from her being a full heel here. I think however you feel about the immediate reaction there, she is now hotter than she's ever been as far as her main roster run goes. So to not capitalize on that now,
Since right before she won the title, yeah, this is the most over she's...
right?
Well,
so,
not most over, but the most attention she's garnering.
Yep, so
Of
I
what
think
she's
it
doing.
would be terrific to have her. And have her win it dirty, whatever. Like, you got to protect Charlotte Flair, and I said the same thing about the New Day. It's the same reason I think that they're going to lose at Hell in a Cell. And this is a realistic prediction for Rusev Day here, is I think they're at the point in their careers where they're building up numbers rather than length of title reigns. Because Charlotte's had a few lengthy title
And Charlotte's going to get her famous 8th at Evolution.
And she very well could. She very well could. And, like, do you know how great of a, just even long-term predictions, and because we haven't seen one in a while, could you imagine how incredible of a double turn that'd be? If Charlotte finally showed her vicious side there and turned Becky back face.
That could be definitely could be interesting. So,
Right?
yeah.
Lots that you can do there, folks. But, as Mike mentioned,
there.
I am Spencer Love of Win Column Sports. I am one half of the newly founded Brothers of Discussion, Hayden Love and myself. You can listen to Over the Top Rope every Friday, whether it's Hayden and myself and a guest, Hayden and a guest. There's an episode every Friday on the Win Column Sports Network. You can follow us on Twitter at WC Sports.ca. Myself at SpennyLove_WCS. Or just visit the website, wincolumnsports.ca, for all your previews, reviews, and breaking news from the world of wrestling. I would also like to think that I'm an unofficial member here of the Backbreaker
Yeah, you're not
Media
a guest
family.
anymore, man.
Right? Like, I've been on 2 in a row and 3 overall of the 5?
Think so.
6?
I don't know. Don't ask me. It's my show, but I don't know.
The multiple episodes of this show. And I want to
Many.
give a shout out to my girlfriend Morgan, who appeared on this show spontaneously.
She didn't come here for you.
No, 100%, but I'm throwing the shout out here.
She's here
So-
because of me.
Fine.
Morgan,
Fight
you-
over me.
She can't confirm or deny. She's just like smiling. Oh, I bet I could beat him.
I also
That's
live
unfair.
here.
No,
That's
100%.
unfair.
But Spencer, don't you have somebody that KJ knows rather well that you were just talking about in an interview tomorrow?
I do. I am launching tomorrow. I've got my interview with Psycho Sawyer of MPW, the first female Ripper champion. Very, very excited to
Don't
have
even get me
her
started
there.
on that damn Ripper title. Ugh.
See, I bring it up every time because we knew it would bug you.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for having me on. Thank you very much already in advance because I know you're going to listen to it for that. And thanks for having me on again, KJ. Always appreciate it.
So are you wrapping this up or am I here? Who's going to plug first?
Oh yeah, it's not my podcast. One of you two are doing
Yeah,
it.
you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Kayla Jamies. That's all you gotta do. Mike, give me your cheesy outro. Oh
Well, hey,
my God.
wait a second. We got stuff to plug here.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh,
I got to I gotta teach her these things, the finer things of podcasting, the plug.
Yeah, many of those to do.
You guys hear that? It's the electrician.
Why have we not, honestly, why have we not approached an electrician about sponsorship on this thing?
Better than being the plumber for all the plugs, so it's always a good thing.
Cheap plugs brought to you by Jim's Electrical.
Okay, Mike, go right ahead.
You're going to see, I don't know if we'll see KJ there, but there's a certain woman named Envy that will be doing a little tour going up next weekend on the 21st in Calgary with RCW Retaliation.
I don't know who that
at the Downtown Legion. I heard you're tailgating her or something. You don't want to admit you're stalking her or something to that effect.
I don't know who that girl is, but I'll be there to watch Jack Pride wrestle.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh.
And then the next night in Red Deer, I'm going to be covering CWC Shattered, featuring a hell of a card, including the first ever women's Fatal 4-Way match in CWC history, with a mystery opponent taking on Angelica, Envy, and the undefeated Cherry Doll.
Excuse me?
Well, semi-undefeated.
Sorry,
I don't even wanna...
Sorry, what? What did you just say? She has been bitten. She has been beaten twice.
Yeah, but that was a handicap match.
No, it wasn't. What were you watching?
I was watching Jack Pride in the middle of the ring.
Check his glasses.
I'm checking.
She is not undefeated.
Folks,
she's undefeated against Angelica.
Folks, if you want to check the details, make sure you check out
Backbreaker Media.
Backbreaker VOD.pivotshare.com or Power Slam TV, the largest independent wrestling network in the world, with 75 promotions, 2,000 hours of content, all for the low price of $5.99 a month.
And great entertainment for both Spencer and KJ, watching Mike point with every word as he says
point
on this recording.
And speaking of vindicating myself on this podcast, the next Monster Pro Wrestling show is MPW Vindication, October 6th at the Alberta Avenue Hall. The main event featuring Wrath and Sean Martins taking on the team of Massive Damage and Chris Parrish.
Hi, Parrish.
And I also have some very big announcements coming up at that show in regards to Retribution coming up on November 3rd, where, if anybody doesn't know, every match has to have a stipulation in it. So that's going to be rather interesting. I guarantee it at this point. Other than that, Backbreaker Media, because we're Canadian A, don't need the extra A on the end, on Twitter. Mike the Ref EDM for Edmonton on Instagram, Mike the Ref on Twitter.
Not the music genre.
I'm definitely not into the music genre. Maybe I'll have to start coming out to that,
Oh, God, no.
I'm coming out, so you better get
that's
started.
All right. All right, folks.
I'm so embarrassed.
What
not
a
really.
song. Don't be embarrassed.
I'm sorry.
I'm not embarrassed.
We're gonna
I'm
be
a
back.
wrestler,
We're going to be back next week with the fallout from Hell in the Cell, as well as the next episode of the Mae Young Classic. I don't know if I'll be here or not. I know these two will, but we'll see here. Just remember, folks, on behalf of KJ Cash and Spencer Love of Wincalm Sports, this is
We're
Mike
Canadian, eh?
This is Mike the Ref saying, if you're going to have a false finish, make sure you hit the double down.
Boom! There we go. Play my music.
And this has been the Double Down Podcast on Backbreaker Media.